joining me now, Congressman Gregory Meeks, a Democrat from New York. He is the ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining, because you're pushing for an investigation, of course, into this group chat. Republicans control the House. Can you get them on board behind an investigation?
Look, I've put in a letter and having conversation with Chairman Mass to say that I saw him on CNN say that he's willing to do an investigation. Let's do a bipartisan letter to the administration and call in all of the parties, especially the head of the Secretary of the DOD, Hegseth, and so that we can have a full and complete investigation, not only to the utilization of the Signal app yesterday, which was a violation of national security, but it then raises concerns about who else or what else have they done on the Signal app. So yes, and I'm looking to do a resolution on the floor that hopefully will get on the floor shortly to vote and have the members vote that we need to get all of those questions answered.
So I'm hearing that it would be an investigation not only through a hearing, but also figuring out whether this was a one-off or whether Signal is being used as a routine measure, and to what extent they released information that would fall under that classified umbrella. Is there more to the investigation as well?
Yeah, that's what it needs to be. It needs to be a thorough and complete. Not, as I said, not just for this instance, because this raises concerns about how they've utilized it previously. And it just shows the incompetence, I think, of the Secretary of Defense. So we need a complete and whole and thorough investigation, and it needs to be done by Congress, because one of the things that Donald Trump has done, he has removed the inspector generals and others who would also look into it. But it is responsibility as the legislative branch to make sure and to watch and to have oversight over the executive branch.
Yet Speaker Johnson says that hearings aren't necessary. He has called this chat a mistake, but he believes that it's being overblown by the media. President Trump said that the media is upplaying this. Do you agree with either statement?
No, they lie. First you see them going back and forth. When they thought that they could get away with it, that the actual transcripts would not be released, they tried to say that it was not classified information. Well, and some are still lying and trying to cover up and say that there was no classified information. But you know what?
In fact, Congressman, some of your colleagues believe that these members, I didn't want to cut you off, but I just want to just underscore the point you were raising. Some of your own colleagues believe that cabinet members lied to Congress when they testified yesterday on these very points.
They did. When you listen to what they said yesterday and you listen to what they said today, they lied. There's no question about it. And I think that individuals who are looking and watching and hearing for their own selves, their ears are not telling them a lie. So they lie after lie after lie and cover up after cover up, which is another reason why we need a thorough investigation.
So will there be consequences for those lies?
Well, I think that one of the immediate consequences is that Hegseth should either resign or be fired. Somebody's head should roll, and since he is the one that led the chat and should have been the one to also look to see who was on the chat, it seems to me, and I think he was incompetent in the beginning, not the right person to run our Department of Defense. His head should roll. He should resign or be fired.
President Trump seems to be indicating that Hegseth's doing a great job and that he believes that Mike Waltz, who has taken responsibility for having added him to the list, is the person who bears the responsibility. But we have no indication they're going to do anything about it. Can Congress do anything more than reprimand and slap a couple wrists?
Well, clearly that the Congress, if we were in charge, of course, there's much more that we could do. We can start looking at even, people looking at, as they did with certain cabinet secretaries as far as impeachment is concerned, if in fact they were endangering our national security as what is taking place. But we need the Republicans in Congress to stand up and meet their oath of office of standing for the country, not for the guy who's president who wants to be king.
Congressman Gregory Meeks, thank you.
Thank you for having me.